So we were just looking at our segregating plots and talking about taking heads of plants within those plots that have the traits that we're looking for in the breeding program. We generally take somewhere between 20 and 30,000 heads, as I mentioned, and each one of those heads then is individually threshed. It is never combined with other heads again, and each one of those heads then has enough seed in it to actually produce what's called a head row. So these rows that you can see here, this is one, that's a head row. That head row has been produced from the seed of one head. And this is our first look at that variety as an individual row. And we're not able to get yield data off of these rows because they are space planted. As you can see, they're not planted at the rate that a farmer would plant them. Rather, they're planted in a spaced way so that I can walk through all of these rows and look at the plant, see it to the ground, see the type of canopy that it has, see something about the plant's architecture, as well as get information by looking at it on the height. Now, we don't go through and take actual height notes on these lines. We do go through them and take maturity or heading data on these lines. But I will take a note on a rough estimate of how tall it is, whether it's an acceptable height or whether it's not an acceptable height. We also will send our students through to take disease notes. So depending on what diseases show up in a given year, this year we had a lot of stripe rust, we had a lot of septoria, and we had a fair bit of fusarium, head scab. So the students will have taken notes all the way through all of these 25,000 head rows, so that when I'm actually walking them myself to make the selections, I can look at their data and I look at my overall sense of the line by looking at it closer to maturity than they are right now. So we're not walking these for selection just yet. We want to see how the head develops, we want to see how the seeds develop, and then we'll make our decisions. But I can tell you right now that the line that's on my extreme right here is a very short line. It is standing upright. It has a very good canopy on it. It is an onless line, and that is the kind of line that we're looking for to select. A little bit taller here. This is an on line. This one here is an on line, but it is very thin. There's not many plants. It shows that it doesn't have a lot of vigor. And so this line will be discarded. As we look further across, we're getting a little too tall in that center line there, and back to a reasonably good line on the end, although the canopy is not very good. So we would probably discard that one as well. Of the 25,000 head rows that we have on the farm this year, we will keep about 2,500 of them, and they will then go into our preliminary yield trials where we'll be able to look at how each of these lines that is selected will yield. So from 25,000 we go to 2,500 in our preliminary yield trials. In order to get enough seed for those preliminary yield trials, what we do, these rows have been planted from a single head. We will come in and we will harvest the entire row now, and the entire row will be threshed. Hopefully will be threshed in a pure way, so that the seed from that row, for example, will form one of the plots in the preliminary yield trial next year. So these are the head rows on the farm.